Hello, welcome back to my channel. My name is Juan Carlos Monsalve. We're going to play another shoe of Baccarat today. Um, Today is November 22nd, 2023. The time of this recording is 7:49 p.m. Eastern Time. And this free information is for entertainment purposes only. If you decide to use any of my strategies, please be mindful that they may not work 100% of the times and that you may lose money. Again, the name of the game is Baccarat. For this and all scorecards, you can visit my website, juancarlosmonsalve.com. You can find them all in a PDF form. You can print them, you can open them and review them. Um, if you want to support my channel, you can do it by going to the website buymeacoffee.com /Juan Carlos Monsalve or PayPal at paypal.me /Juan Carlos Monsalve 12 or Cash App $ Juan Carlos Monsalve. Please give it a like to this video, subscribe to my channel, ring the bell so you get notifications when I upload a new video. Share this video with in your social media. Sit back and observe. We will start again with $25. We are looking to win at least 5 original units or at least $125. We use the Martingale betting system with the difference that we don't reset after a win. If we win, we keep the same bet until we have a loss. And when we have a loss and we already reach our target of 5 units, then we stop betting. We stop after a loss and we have reached our 5 units target. The bets are as follows. I start with 25. If I lose 50, if I lose 100, 200, 400, 800, 1600, 3200, or 5000. Um, the name of my YouTube channel is at Juan Carlos Monsalve 1652. I also have a Facebook group that is called Baccarat Research. Again, give it a thumbs up to this video, subscribe, ring the bell, share, sit back and observe. Again, on the left side here, we see P equal 1, blue is for player, B equal -1 uh, for banker in red, T equals 0 or tie, and here is a column of the winner. I enter the information vertically here, per player or banker, and it's going to populate here who the winner is or if it is a tie or if it is a tie. Here is the way that I'm going to play this shoe. The strategy from day to day may change, may slightly change because I use the information from one shoe and I adjust my next strategy. The win on this column is going to show win equals 1 or blue or loss equal -1. And here the amounts. On the right side here we have the different scorecards from every 2, 1, 2, every 3, 1, 2, 3, all the way to 11 for a total of 10 additional scorecards. So we want to start with burning one card. This is a one of clubs. So we burn one card plus the one of clubs. So one clubs, and today is November 22nd, 2023. And the first hand, first card for player, banker, player, banker. Player has 6 and stands. Banker has a 0 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 2. So 6-2. That is a player hand. I was betting player, so I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. The player has a natural nine, and banker also has a natural nine, so this is a tie. Tie hand is the second hand, it is a tie. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker, and now banker has a natural eight. Player has a one. This is a banker hand. I was betting banker, so I won this hand. I won another $25. When I win, the bet is the same as before. The next bet is the same as before. My next three hands, I will be betting on player. So first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural nine player and two banker. This is a player hand. I was betting player. I won this hand. I won another $25. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. I have a three player and four banker. The player gets a third card. It gets a seven. So 3 plus 7, 10. And this is 0. And the banker has a 4. It gets a third card if we get anything from 2 to 7. So it gets a third card. And the third card is an 8 for a total of 2. 4 plus 8, 2. So this is a banker hand. I was playing player and I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 2 against the third card, and the third card is a 9 for a total of 1. So one player and banker has a 5. We only get a third card for banker if we get anything from 4 to 7. So this one doesn't get a third card. So this is a banker hand. I was playing player and I lost his hand. I lost $50. It's the double of the prior amount because the prior hand I also lost it. So next hand I'm gonna bet banker the next two hands. First card player, banker, player, banker. Player has 0 and gets a third card. The third card is a 4. And banker has a 2 against the third card. The third card is a 6 for a total of 8. 4 player, 8 banker. This is a banker hand. I was betting banker. I won this hand. I won $100. That's double the prior amount because prior bet I lost it. So I won $100. Now I am up 100. Next hand I will be betting banker again, and it's gonna be $100 bet. We keep the same bet amount. First card for player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 0 and gets a third card. Banker has a 1 and gets a third card. And player gets an 8, no, excuse me, 7. Banker has a 9. So this is a banker hand. I was betting banker. I won this hand. I won $100 for it. Now I'm up 200. Next hand will be for 200, and I'm gonna be betting player. First card player, banker, player, banker. A player has a natural 9. Banker has a natural 8. So this is a player hand. I was betting player. I won this hand. I won $100. I'm up 300. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 7 and it stands. Banker has a 4 and gets a third card. The third card is a 6 for a total of 10 or 0. So banker 0, player 7. This is a player hand. I was betting banker, so I lost this hand. I lost 100, and now I have $200 left. $200 is more than my 5 unit target, so I will stop betting at this moment since I already have my target of 5 units, and I just have a loss, one loss. So I will continue playing. I earn $200, or I make $200 in 7 hands. This is somebody asked me if uh, how I feel when I think that I'm gonna lose a hand, and I reply, losing a hand the way that I play is not a bad thing because every time that I lose, I double my bet and I keep the same bet. Like in this case, I lost 2 hands, so it went from 25 to 50 to 100, and then I won 3 hands in a row, and then I lost one. So I lost this one. I kept these two winnings of $100 each. So if I reset every time that I win, I would be making only $25. It's very slow to make any money like that. Sometimes it can grow to 400, 800, 1600, 3200, and if I get a winning streak, that's when I make my money. So okay, next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 5 and gets a third card, and the third card is a 9, so it reduces to 4. And banker has a 5, only gets a third card if we get anything from 4 to 7. So this case is 5. So this is a banker hand, and I was betting player, or my formula or my strategy says that I was betting player. I didn't bet any money, but I'm still gonna make it like I was playing. I was playing player. I lost his hand, but I didn't lose any money. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now banker has a natural 8. Banker player has a six player natural 8 banker. This is a banker hand. I was playing player and I lost his hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 1 and gets a third card. The third card is a 6 for a total of 7. Banker has a 1 and gets a third card, and there is another 1. So banker has a 2 and player has a 7. This is a player hand. I was betting player. I won this hand. And this other column here, it tells me if I'm up or down in regards to how many hands. If it's in blue, it means that I'm up 2 hands on the whole shoe. 2 hands. If it's in red, it's because I'm down the number of hands that are there. So next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has 7 and it stands. Banker has a 3 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0. So player 7, banker 3. This is a player hand. I was playing player, so I won this hand. I'm still 200, and I am up three hands. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 3 and gets a third card. The third card is a 6 for a total of 9. And banker has a 5 and gets a third card if we get anything from 4 to 7. So the third card is a 0. So 9 player, banker 5. This is a player hand. I was betting banker. I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 1 and gets a third card. The card is a 0, so it remains at 1. Banker has a 3 and gets a third card. The third card is a 4 for a total of 7. So player 1, banker 7. This is a banker hand. I was betting player. I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 7 and it stands. Banker has a 1 and gets a third card. The third card is a 6 for a total of 7. So 7 players, 7 banker. This is a tie hand. Um, on top here we have, I'm gonna put some titles here. So we have this part frozen. We have 7 players, 8 bankers, 2 ties for a total of 17 hands. And next hand, okay, this is 7-7, tie hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 7 and he stands. Banker has a 0 and gets a third card. The third card is a 1. So 7 player, 1 banker. This is a player hand. I was playing player and I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. We have 0 player, 0 banker. Third card for player is a 1. Banker has a 0 and the third card is a 0. So 1 player, 0 banker. This is a player hand. I was betting banker. I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now banker has a natural 8. Player has a 0. This is a banker hand. I was playing player. I lost his hand. Now we are even. No hands won or lost. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Banker has 7 and it stands. So player has a 3 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0. So it remains at 3. 3 player, 7 banker. This is a banker hand. I was playing player, so I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 6 and a stands. Banker has a 2 and gets a third card. The third card is a 5 for a total of 7. 6 player, 7 banker. This is a banker hand. I was playing player. I lost this hand. Now I'm down 2 hands in the whole shoe. I'm red 2 hands. Next hand, I'm going to be betting player. First card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 1 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0. And banker has a 4. So 1 player, 4 banker. Banker doesn't get any more cards. This is a banker hand. I was betting player and I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has 7 and it stands. Banker has a 0 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0. So 7 player, 0 banker. This is a player hand. I was betting banker. I lost this hand. I lost 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 6 hands, 6 hands in a row. Next 2 hands, I will be playing player. First card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 0 and gets a third card. The third card is a 3. Banker has a 4. Banker gets a third card if we get anything from 2 to 7. So the third card for player is a 7. So 3 player, 1 banker. This is a player hand. I was playing player, so I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Both of them have a 0 player, 0 banker. Third card for player is a 4. Third card for banker is a 0. So 4 banker, 4 player, and 0 banker. This is a player hand. I was betting player, and I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a national A player and national A banker. So this is another tie hand. We have 3 tied hands on this shoe. 12 players, 12 bankers, 3 ties, or a total of 27 hands. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 4 and banker has 2. Both of them get a third card. Player gets a 3 for a total of 7, and banker's third card is a 1 for a total of 3. So 7 player and 3 banker. So this is a player hand. I will bet in player. I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 2 and is 2 and banker has a natural A. This is a banker hand. I will bet in player. I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 0, gets a third card. The third card is a 0, so it remains at 0. And banker has a 5 and doesn't get any more cards. So this is a banker hand. I will bet in banker and I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 4 and gets a third card. The third card is a 7. So 4 plus 7, 11, meaning 1. And the banker has a 3 and gets a third card. The third card is a 4 for a total of 7. So 1 player, 7 banker. This is a banker hand. I was betting banker. I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 5 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0. Banker has a 3 and gets a third card. The third card is a 1. So 5 player. Banker has a 4. This is a player hand. I was betting banker. I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 1 and gets a third card. The third card is a 5 for a total of 6. 6 player. Banker has a 6 and only gets a third card if we get only 6 and 7. So we get a 5. So no more card for banker. So 6 6. This is another tie. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 3 and gets a third card. Banker has a 1 and gets a third card. The player gets a 0, so he remains at 3. Banker has a 1 and gets a third card. It's a 2. So 1 plus 2 equals 3. So 3 player, 3 banker. This is another tie. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 2 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0. And the banker third card is a 9 for a total of 0. So player has a 2, banker has 0. So this is a player hand. I was playing banker. I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 6 and a stance. Banker has a 1 against a third card. The third card is a 7 for a total of 8. So 6 player, 8 banker. This is a banker hand. I was playing player, so I lost his hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 4 and banker has a 2. Third card for player is a 0. So it remains at 4. Player remains at 4. And banker has a 2 plus 6 equals 8. So this is a 4-8. This is a banker hand. I was playing player and I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has 6 and it stands, and banker has a natural 8. So this is a banker hand. I was playing banker, so I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now we have a natural 8 banker and 1 player. This is a banker hand. I was betting banker and I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 0 against a third card. The third card is a 3. Banker has a 2 against a third card. The third card is a 9. So 2 plus 9 equals 1. And player has a 3. 3 player and 1 banker. This is a player hand. I was betting banker, so I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has 2 against a third card. The third card is a 2 for a total of 4. Banker has a 4 against a third card. If we get anything from 2 to 7, so player third card is a 0. So 4 player, 4 banker. This is another tie. We have 6 ties on the shoe. 16 players, 19 bankers, total of 41 hands. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has 7 in his hands, banker has a 0, gets a third card. The third card is a 4. So 7 player, 4 banker. This is a player hand. I was betting banker, so I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a natural 8. Banker has a 7. This is a player hand. I was playing player, so I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 3 and gets a third card. The third card is a 4 for a total of 7. Banker has a 5 and gets a third card if we get anything from 4 to 7. So the third card is a 2, 5 plus 2, 7. So 7 players, 7 bankers. This is another tie. This is another tie. We have seven ties on the shoe. Next hand, first card player, banker, player. Okay, we are playing hand number 45. We have four for player and six on banker. Third card for player is three for a total of seven. So seven players, six banker. This is a player hand. I was playing banker, so I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has one and gets the third card. The third card is a seven for a total of eight. Banker has a three and the third card is a seven for a total of zero. So eight and zero. So this is a player hand. I was betting player and I won this. I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a natural 8 and banker has a 7. I was betting banker and this was a player. So I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 1 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0. And banker has a 0 and the third card is a 2. So one player and two banker. This is a banker hand. I was betting player, so I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Banker has a natural 9, and player has a 6. 6-9. That was a banker hand. I was betting banker, so I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 5 and gets a third card. The third card is a 5 for a total of 0. Banker has a 0 and the third card is a 1. So 1 banker, 0 player. This is a banker hand. I will get in banker and I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 0 and gets a third card. The third card is a 5. Banker has a 3 and the third card is a 7 for a total of 0. So 5 player, 0 banker. This is a player hand. I was betting banker, so I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 1 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0. Uh, so it remains at 1. Banker has a 0 and the third card is a 1. So 1 player, 1 banker. This is another tie. We have 8 ties so far on this shoe. We have 22 players, 22 bankers, and 8 ties for a total of 52 hands. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Banker has a 6, player has a 0, and the third card is a 3. And banker has a 6, only gets a third card if we get anything from 6 or 7. So 3, 6 banker. This is a banker hand. I was betting player, so I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 2 and gets a third card. The third card is a 6 for a total of 8. And banker has a 3 and the third card is a 0, so 8. A3. This is a player hand. I was betting player, so I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has 5 and gets a third card. 5 plus 5 equals 0. Banker has 7 and no more cards for banker. So this is a banker hand. I was betting player, so I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has 1 and gets a third card. The third card is a 6 for a total of 7. Banker has a 4. It gets a third card for anything from 2 to 7. So yeah, got the third card is a 6 plus 4 equals 0, 7, 0. This is a player hand. I was betting banker and I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a natural 8 and banker has a 2, natural 8, 2. So this is a player hand. I was betting banker. So I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 4 and gets a third card. The third card is a 7, so it reduces to 1. Banker has a 3 and gets a third card. The third card is an 8, so it reduces to 1. So 1, 1, 11, 13 plus 8, 21. That means 1. So 1, 1. This is a tie hand. We have 9 tie hands in this show. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 3 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0, so player remains at 3. Banker has 2 and gets a third card. The third card is a 2 for a total of 4. So this is a banker hand. I was betting player, so I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has 4 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0. And so it remains at 4, and banker has 2, and the third card is a 6 for a total of 8. So 4 player, 8 banker, and I was betting the player, so I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now player has a natural 9, player has a 0. So this is a player hand. I was betting banker, so I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 3 and gets a third card. The third card is a 3 for a total of 6. Banker has a 6, so it remains at 6. So 6 player, 6 banker. That's a tie hand. We have 10 tie hands on the shoe. 26 players, 26 bankers, and 10 ties. First card player, banker, player, banker. Now banker has a natural 8. Player has a 3. So 3, 8. This is a banker hand. I was betting banker, so I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 2 and gets a third card. The third card is a 3 for a total of 5. Banker has a 2 and gets a third card. It's a 3. So this one also goes to 5, 5, 5. So this is another tie for a total of 11 ties on this shoe. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 0 and gets a third card. The third card is a 2. Banker has a 6. So this is a banker hand, 2 player, 6 banker. Banker doesn't get any more cards, so this is a banker hand. I was betting banker, so I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker, banker. Banker has a 6, player has a 0. The third card is another 0, so it remains at 0, and banker has a 6. 0, 6. That's a banker hand. I was betting banker, so I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. So now we have a natural 9 player, a natural 9 banker for another tie. Total of ties on this shoe, 12. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 0, banker has a 0. Both of them get a third card. Player has got a 3, and banker has a 5. So 3 player, 5 banker. This is a banker hand. I will get a banker, so I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a natural 9, and banker has a 5. This is a player hand. I will get in player, so I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. The player has a 0 and gets a third card. The third card is a 6. Banker has a 5 and he gets a third card if we get anything from 4 to 7. So player third card, banker third card is a 0. So it remains at 5, 6, 5. That was a player hand. I was playing play banker, so I lost that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 1 and gets a third card. The third card is a 0. Banker has a 0 and gets a third card. The third card is a 3. So 1 player, 3 banker. That was a banker hand. I was betting banker, so I won that hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Now natural 8 banker. Player has a 0. So this is a banker hand. I was betting player. I lost this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker, player, banker. Player has a 2 and gets the third card. Banker has a 3. So that also gets a third card. The third card is a 0. So 2 player, 3 banker. This is a banker hand. I was betting banker, so I won this hand. Next hand, first card player, banker. And I got the cut card, so that we will finish this hand and we will play one more. Second card player, second card banker. Player gets a 0 plus a third card is a 4. Banker has a 3 and gets a third card. The third card is a 3 for a total of 6. So for 6, this is the banker hand. I will be in player, so I lost this hand. Now we're gonna play the last hand of this shoe. First card for player, banker, player, banker. Player has a natural 8. Banker has a 1. So this is a player hand. I will be in player. I won this hand. For a total on this shoe, I lost 5 more hands of those that I won. So if I have lost, if I have played a flat bet the whole way from the beginning to the end, it would have been I would have lost 5 units. Besides that, I would have to pay commissions. So, but because I stopped playing at hand number 7, so we made a profit and we didn't play anymore. We were in the positive from the beginning, and then it turns red on me, and but we were already out betting. Now we will go over the different scorecards. The scorecards, we start from the bottom, that is every 11. I see here 3 players. I see here 4 bankers, 3 bankers, 5 players, 1 to 10. I see here 4 bankers, 4 players, 3 bankers, 3 more bankers here, 3 players here, 1 to 9. I see 6 bankers here, 4 bankers, 4 players. Every 8, I see 3 bankers, 3 bankers, 3 bankers, 3 more bankers here, 3 players here, 3 more players. Every 7, I see 3 players, 4 players, 3 more players here, 4 bankers, 3 bankers here, 3 more bankers here. Every 6, I see 3 bankers, 4 bankers, 3 players, 3 more players. Every 5, I see 4 bankers, 4 players, 4 bankers, 3 players, 5 players. Every 4, I see 4 bankers, 4 bankers, 3 players, 3 more players here, 3 players here, 3 bankers. Every 3, I see here 3 bankers, 3 players, 3 more players, 4 bankers, 3 bankers. Every 2, I see 3 bankers here, 3 players, 3 bankers, 3 players. Those are the scorecards. Um, okay, and that's the end of the show, and those are the scorecards. For all the scorecards, including today's show, you can find them in my website, juancarlosmonsalve.com. You can open them there. I have them in a PDF form. If you want to support my channel, you can do it through PayPal, paypal.me/. Juan Carlos Monsalve 12, or the website buymeacoffee.com /Juan Carlos Monsalve, or Cash App Juan Carlos, $, Juan Carlos Monsalve. You can find my YouTube channel at Juan Carlos Monsalve 1652, or my Facebook group Baccarat Research. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up to this video, subscribe to the channel, ring the bell for future notifications, share in your social media. Sit back and observe. Every time that you watch, you can watch this video over and over and over and see if you can identify more things that happen during the game. This is everything for today. Oh, I have the email address here. Um, yeah, this is not my best strategy. My best strategy, I have one for when you start with player and one when you start with banker. I won't be revealing that strategy until I have 1,000 subscribers, and I will reveal it to the 1,000 subscribers. So if you subscribe, you can send me a screenshot to my email, juancarlosmonsalve12@gmail.com. When I complete the subscribers, the 1,000 subscribers, I will share that with those that send me the screenshot. So the first 1,000 subscribers will get access to my uh, the better strategies that I have. This is my second best. Still, I was able to make $200 on this game in only 7 hands. This is all for today. I appreciate that you take the time to watch my videos. I hope you enjoy the choose the same way that as I do. And thank you, and have a wonderful one. I will see you in my next video. Thank you, and bye-bye.